Okay, welcome everyone to our Rotary E-Club of District 7710, and I'll pass it over to Kathy to introduce our speaker tonight.
Thanks, Jeanne. I'd like to introduce Carmen Felder of the Carolina Ballet to our Rotary E-Club of District 7710 meeting this evening. Carmen began her ballet training in Cary, North Carolina at the Cary Ballet Conservatory through high school. She spent her summers training as a scholarship student at the Houston Ballet Academy, Pacific Northwest Ballet, and the Dance Theater of Harlem. During her early years, Carmen performed in Carolina Ballet's Coppelia and the Nutcracker. She went on to earn her Bachelor of Fine Arts from the University of Oklahoma in ballet performance, and she minored in German. While at OU, Carmen trained under Mary Margaret Holt and performed many lead roles with the Oklahoma Festival Ballet, as well as traveling with the company to dance in the Shanghai Baoshan International Folk Arts Festival. After graduating, Carmen danced with the Columbia City Ballet in Columbia, South Carolina. She joined Carolina Ballet as a trainee in January of 2011 and was promoted to the Corps de Ballet for the 2011 to 2012 season. Carmen has just finished performing in the Rhapsody in Blue, and she will be in the Carmen Ballet next month in May, and we hope to see her there. Carmen?
Thank you very much. So like we were saying, my name is Carmen, and I grew up dancing in North Carolina for the most part. Just kind of like that's my background, I guess. But I really want to tell you guys more about what I do on a daily basis, like kind of my everyday job run. So mornings I get up fairly early. We start class around 10 o'clock in the morning every day that we're not in the theater. So our schedule's a little funny also. If we are in the theater, we work Tuesday through Sunday. And if we are not dancing in the theater, we work Monday to Friday. So if we are in a normal non-theater week, we have our class at 10 o'clock on Monday. So I get up around 7:30, so I can have my cup of coffee, kind of wake myself up slowly. I had a teacher in college tell me you needed to be awake 2 hours before you dance so you don't hurt yourself and to kind of get your body going. So I get up early. I have breakfast every morning, and I'm a big breakfast eater. Some dancers will do a yogurt. I'm more of a 2 eggs, 2 pieces of bacon, 2 pieces of toast, a bowl of yogurt with honey, and then maybe 2 cups of coffee if I'm really not waking up. So I have to fuel myself to get going during the day. Then I go to the studios, and I get to the studio about half an hour before class starts. I like to warm up my body a little bit before we start our class. So I will take a foam roller and lay on a foam roller to release my back muscles. I had surgery in June of last year, so I do some additional exercises for my ankles just to make sure that they are working first thing in the morning. And then sometimes I just sit and look at people, talk to my friends before we're not allowed to really talk to each other during class. And then class is about an hour and 20 minutes. We do pretty much the same thing that I've done since I was 9 years old. Same class order, same idea, but the whole point of our class is to warm us up for the rest of our day, to get us ready to rehearse, and just kind of start your brain to pick up on things, since we do the same things pretty much every day. The way we do the combinations is a little bit different. So we'll do a combination or a exercise called tendus, and one day it'll be one combination of pointing your foot, and the next day it'll be a completely different combination of pointing your foot. So it's just kind of a way to get your brain working. And then after class, I tend to take a snack break because I get very hungry even with that breakfast. So I take my snack break, and then we rehearse. And on a normal day, we can have up to 6 hours of rehearsal. So if we're learning a brand new ballet, and the core does a lot of the work of the ballet. So if it's a new ballet, we'll have a 3-hour block in the morning being 11:30 to 2:30, and then we'll take a break from 2:30 to 3:30, and then we'll work from 3:30 to 6:30, just learning new choreography. And that's typically like the first week you'll have 6-hour rehearsal days for a new program. So that's my least favorite, but once you get your information learned, you don't really have to use that part of your brain anymore. It's just a recollection after that. So that's pretty much what my normal day is. And then if we are in the theater, we mix things up completely. We'll start around noon instead on Tuesday. So theater weeks, we don't work on Monday. And then Tuesday we come in at noon. And we have the same idea. We'll do class from noon to 1:20. And then we head to the theater to do our technical rehearsals, where we are in costume, ready with everything to go. But we are doing it with lighting, with the sound, with set pieces, with our crew for the first time. So technical rehearsals can take a long time and be a little tedious with time, because a technical rehearsal can last from 2:30 to, I think we go 5:30, and then 2:30 to 5:30, and then 7:30 to 10:30 at night. So sometimes you don't start dancing until 9-10 o'clock, and it's kind of difficult just to mentally put yourself in that place to keep working, but also to make sure you don't hurt yourself, because it is more difficult to get things done when you're tired, especially during the day like that. And then so we do that on a Tuesday. Wednesday is a dress rehearsal in a theater. So we kind of do the exact same thing all over again in the morning. And then we have people come in and watch our dress rehearsal. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we perform, which is really fun. But going back kind of to class things, I have some visuals, some things to show. How do I do that?
Carmen, I think if you are you just going to show them?
Yeah.
I think like you showed me earlier, probably just on your screen.
Okay. Just my screen.
Will that be good?
Yeah, absolutely perfect. Okay, so I wanted to share with everyone my pointe shoes. So every day, like I was saying in class, we have pointe shoes that we have to wear. So this is what I perform in. These are my shoes in particular. The really cool thing about dancing with a company is, you can see that we have our shoes. They come from Freed of London. It's a very, very old pointe shoe company. And they make all of our shoes custom. So these shoes were made December 2nd of last year. And we have a different maker. So this little fish, this is my maker's stamp. So all of my shoes have this stamp on the bottom. And that's the person who makes my shoes. I put a date on them just so I know when I started wearing them. I wear my shoes for about 2 to 3 weeks max. They're made out of cardboard and glue, so they really don't last very long. And with the rain and humidity in North Carolina, they break down really easily. So this part gets very soft. These are a fairly hard pair right now, but this breaks down and gets really soft. And I was saying they're all custom. So normally this shoe has a insole that goes all the way to here, and it's made out of cardboard. My insoles are leather. It's a little bit stiffer, but also a little bit more pliable, and it molds to your foot a little bit better than the cardboard does. And I also have cut most of it out. So when I point my foot, this is in the middle of my foot as opposed to being on my heel. I've also cut my shoes down. So the sides of this shoe from here to here is a lot shorter than other people's, but then the heel of my shoe is a lot higher. I did that so more of my foot's out of the shoe, and they come without the ribbons or elastics sewn on. So that's something that I do on Tuesdays when I get my shoes. So we get 2 pairs of shoes a week on Tuesday, and I call it Shoes Day Tuesday. And each pair of these custom shoes cost about $100. So each woman in the company, depending on rank, gets between 1 and 4, I believe, pairs of shoes a week. So those are point shoes, and they're bendy, and there's fun, but it's really cool to have somebody making your shoe for you. And I recently just changed a lot of my specifications. So it's a really interesting process that you start it when you're young and you continue to change your shoe as you change as a dancer. So the things that I've changed in these shoes are reflected on that I had surgery in June, and that I've got stronger feet now than when I made them 7 years ago. So everything changes in the shoe. And then an added thing, I just take the satin off of the toe. It's slippery, and if without that there, this is canvas underneath, so it sticks to the floor a little bit better. And then to alleviate pain from the point shoes, I've got these toe inserts that I've started putting in my shoes. They're labeled right and left, and they're probably the most advanced bit of technology that I use in dancing. These shoes are old. The way they're made is old. They're handcrafted, so they're a little different every single time. So that's why most point shoes aren't made of plastic or any material that lasts a lot longer, because you can't use your foot like you need to with the cardboard. But these are really cool because this is a moldable, quick setting, like gel type substance. So what I did was I put this on my feet, and it makes an exact mold of my feet. And it takes the pressure points where I normally would be putting pressure. You can see that little bit of light there in the very tip. So that's where my big toe ends up. But that's a pressure point. And then there's this is a pressure point, but this material fills the shoe in. So I'm not having all of my weight on just my big toe. It distributes it throughout the entire shoe, which I think is a really cool advancement in dance when dance meets science, because a lot of times we don't really think of those things going together, but these make my shoes not hurt at all, which is really incredible because they hurt. They are not very comfortable. And then when I was talking about going in class, warming up, I have a collection of balls that I use. So I've got a super ball, like that, one of those bouncy balls. This one's really hard. I use this one to roll either my back out. If I have a knot, I definitely love this one for getting knots out. And then I have a bigger ball. This is my glitter ball. It's just a big giant bouncy ball from the kids section at Target. It's really good for rolling out your legs and your hips. So I use this in the morning. If my hips are really sore, I'll sit on the ball and roll my hips out with this one. And then I've got this special one that I made. This is I call my cuboid ball. So on the bottom of your foot, there's a bone. It's called your cuboid. And when you dance in the act of pointing your foot, it can drop between the metatarsals. So, or not the metatarsals, but it moves out of place. But this ball, because it's flat on the bottom, I can stand on it to push the bone back up into the place that it's supposed to be. It helps my feet not hurt as bad, but it's also another interesting little thing that a lot of us dancers experience dropped cuboids and different tight muscles in your feet that you have to do little things to get to go away before you dance for the day. And then I was going to let you guys ask questions.
Well, thank you, Carmen. That